record on this computer. Okay, so disclaimer, I am going to apologize. This is the best my voice has sounded all day, so if it goes out, I'm probably going to be coughing and drinking water at the same time. But I've had like no voice for the past week, and I just don't know what's coming back. So I am Taylor Jensen, for those who don't know me. I am Jamie Innes's coach. I am a 2-star diamond, and I've been coaching for a year and a half now, which is insane. I was just writing that down. I was doing my notes, and I'm like, what? Like, I feel like I was just like a year and 3 months, and now it's a year and a half. Like, what? It's crazy, and it flies by. So if you're new on this call, just know that it goes by so fast, and I still feel like a newbie compared to a lot of the people on this team. So just know that you're surrounded by so many people and so much support. So today I want to talk about working full-time, kind of everything that goes into it, and how I stay consistent with my schedule, consistent with social media, consistent with growing my business, and all of that while being super busy at the same time. So a little bit about myself and my schedule and what I do outside of coaching. I am full-time in human resources, so I am a learning and development specialist at Gordon Food Service, which is a corporate office here in Michigan. And I usually work around 40 or 50 hours a week. I will say that I'm not, my job isn't so super demanding compared to like CMEO has and other people who work a crap ton of hours, which is insane, but it's still demanding. I'm still there 5 days out of the week. And then I'm also planning a wedding. So I'm getting married in September, and now that the summer is coming and all of that, it's all the details and all the planning and getting together with people. And we just bought a new house, so shopping for that and getting it renovated, and at the same time, obviously coaching full-time as well. I will say that I do full-time work for it, and then doing life and being a fiance and still having fun. So how do I balance all of that? How do I put my time into everything while still growing my business? So I feel like so many people use being busy as an excuse, and if you truly believe in this business, you're going to use it as your reason, not your excuse. So today is an amazing kind of example of that. My job absolutely sucked today. It sucked really bad the past few weeks, the past few months. It's kind of been getting worse and worse and a lot more demanding, and I called Ryan when I got to work, and I was literally almost in tears. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This sucks. And instead of coming home and crying about it and like not working my business because, I'm upset and I'm just too stressed out and I have a headache and I don't feel good. It was my reason. I got in my office, I did extra work, I reached out to extra people, I made sure I did my messages, and I made sure I showed up because it's my reason. It's why, I don't want my present to be my future. I want to be done with it. I want to do this full time because I truly believe in it. So instead of using that as a crutch, it is my fuel every single day, and that's really what you have to spin it as. Like, my biggest pet peeve probably in the world is when people say they're too busy or they're too busy and they forgot that. And whatever it is, it's not an excuse. And if you really want it, there's always someone busier than you. There's someone busier on this team than you. There's someone with another kid than you, another job than you, all of that. So you just can't use that as an excuse, whatever it is. At some point you have to, look at yourself and be like, I messed up or I dropped the ball. Figure out what you did that, made you miss the mark and own it. Because, at the end of the day, it's not your coach and it's not Jamie and it's not other people that you have to say sorry to. It's yourself, because you're an entrepreneur. This is your business, and you need to work it and you need to own it. I think I muted that person. Okay, so you need to own it, and at the end of the day, you're the person who, you dropped the ball on. So basically, my schedule, I try to get a lot done in the mornings, but I will say that it doesn't happen every single morning. So basically what a schedule looks like in my life and how I balance everything, I try to get my vital behaviors done in the morning. So obviously I'm at work all day long, and that's not always going to happen at 5 o'clock when I get home. I want to cook dinner. I want to spend time with Ryan. Obviously, I'm still going to work my business because I honor my partner and I love it that much that I'm still going to work it at night. But I want to make sure that those vital behaviors are done in the morning, because that's going to take up 1 or 2 hours of my night that I don't have time for. So in the morning, that's when I'll get my workout in, I'll get my PD in, I'll, answer messages usually, but that's more, you can wait for those messages if, you absolutely don't have time for it in the morning, but that's something that stresses me out personally. I have to answer everything before I get to work for the day, otherwise it's on my mind, and I really want to respond to everyone in a timely manner. So I will, answer messages as well. I do try to answer my messages and check my internet and all of that after I do my workout and after I do my PD, because I feel like it can really hinder your mindset for the rest of the day, just because, if the first thing you see in the morning is a coach cancellation or someone bumming out in your challenge group or whatever it is, like that's not how you want to start your morning. Like you want to start it filled up with your personal development, with your workout, ready to go. And then when you log in and you see that, it's okay. Like you got this, you can handle it. You keep powering through and you focus on the positive things. So I'll do my vital behaviors in the morning, and then I'll go to work. Thankfully, at my work, I'm not going to lie, I do a lot of coaching work there, but it is because I am at a desk job. I obviously make sure I'm getting my work done too, but if I have little breaks in the day, I do have my internet there, and it's more so just messages, making sure I'm messaging people back and I'm pretty responsive. If you have that flexibility, it is nice. And then at lunch, I always make sure I am either reaching out or crafting posts. So being busy and drained all the time, it's hard to always be creative and always have a post ready to go. So when I'm feeling good, which is usually at my lunch hour, and I have energy, or in the morning, after that, I'm usually kind of donezo. So I craft posts, and I think what's on my mind, is it my PD for the day, is an experience that happened, whatever it is, I craft a post or two of something that I want to talk about. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes when I have ideas, I just like spitball them and put them in my notes or put them on my phone, or a draft in your email, just so they're there. And when you're ready to post them, you can edit them and make sure they're good to go. But it's a really good way to get those ideas going. So then when you're like, oh, I haven't posted in 6 hours or whatever it is, and you have no idea what you want to talk about, you can go to your notes section and you can have those pictures, those content. That's the other thing, is pictures. On the weekends, I make sure that I am getting pictures done. Obviously, there's things that you can't do in the moment, but you don't want your whole Instagram feed with selfies and crappy pictures of your food. You want it to look professional. So, I go for a walk with Ryan, or I set up my tripod and I have pictures edited and ready to go, so that on those days where I have nothing, or I look like crap and there's no way I'm putting my makeup on or getting dressed, I have something ready to go and I post it and make sure that it keeps going. So a little bit sidetracked, but that's what I do at lunch. And then the other thing I'll do at lunch is team trainings for my team page. I love giving information back to them, anything that resonated with me. A lot of times I'll have like YouTube going for trainings while I'm working, and I'll share that with my team as well. And then after work, I am checking in with my challenge groups. Obviously, I do that during the day too. But at night, I always post my dinner recipe in there and ask them, how their day was, what they struggled with, things like that. And then make my healthy dinner, spend a little bit of time with Ryan. I do try to have that balance as well. Obviously, I don't have that much balance because I want this business really, really bad, and Ryan knows that. But there's some days I can't spend all night with him. And we have our schedules on Monday nights and Tuesday nights. I'm always working the business. He knows that on Monday nights I have team calls, and on Tuesday nights he's studying for an exam. So it works really well for me, because then I can work all night. Thursdays he has poker night, another awesome thing for him to be out of the house. So Wednesdays, because of that, I usually spend time with him, and it justifies it for me, because the other nights of the week I'm working business. And then at nights, that my activities vary. It just depends what has to be done. But every single day, I make sure I'm doing those vital behaviors. I make sure I'm crafting posts. I make sure I'm checking with my team in my challenge groups, and I reach out to new people. So that's probably the biggest thing that I think everybody underestimates at some point in their business, or is scared of when they first start. But I will say that it's the number one thing that has grown my business from day one until now, even with people still reaching out to me. So on the go, I will I do have a call about this. I'm not going to spend that much time on it. If you search it before, how I do my reach outs and recruiting and things like that. But as I get new followers on Instagram, I'll just screenshot them. Or even if I'm having a conversation with someone, like I want to remember to go back to it. This is something that you want to really make sure that you are like in the right mindset when you're responding to them, because with a busy life like this, like if you're constantly responding on the go or in your car or whatever it is, you're not like fully listening to this. And I found myself doing it before, like I would say the wrong thing, you're like forgot about that person's life or whatever it is, and it looks so bad and then you feel like moron. So don't do that. Make sure if you're sat down with your notes when you're doing that. And I screenshot everybody still. So even after a year and a half of working my business, I'm still reaching out to people personally. I do have a lot more people come to me now, but I'm still, screenshotting all of those people that I need to talk to, the new followers, whatever it is, and I'm messaging them like crazy. And I think I have at least like 1 or 2 people per week from just those screenshots who I get into a challenge group, which is super awesome. That's where I get a lot of my challengers and new coaches. So the little transition that I found that works really well is, if you're reaching out to 100 or 200 people a week, and it's going to be that much when your following increases and things like that, and you're reaching out to them all, there's like that point where you want to say something about Beachbody, but you're not sure when to, and it's like a little awkward, and you're not sure when or what to say. I've been inviting every single one of them to free groups, so I never just tell them about a challenge pack or whatever it is unless they ask, which some people will. They'll ask what you do as a coach, or if they can join one of your groups that they see. But if not, then I'll invite them to a free group. And I have at least one every single month, and at that point I will go through everyone I've been talking to, and I'll send them another message and say, hey, hey, I have a free group coming up, and I would love to have you in it, or I would love to have your opinion on it, or I would just love to have your feedback, or whatever it is. I know you were had a wedding coming up. I have a Toning Our Arms group coming up. Join us. And it's a lot of times they won't say no because it's free. And you just ask them straight up like that, so that they don't have much else to say. And also, this is a perfect way to get them onto Facebook. So it really changes the relationship from Instagram. I get a lot of people from Instagram and then move them over to Facebook. And it's just a little bit more personable. You get to know their life more, and just kind of keep track of them more. So, and that's kind of my shift there. So my schedules, I use my mornings, I use my break and lunch, any breaks in your day, whether you don't have to have a corporate job to make this work. I have nurses on our team and things like that, they're on their feet all day long. You don't have time to respond to messages and things throughout the day, and that's okay. Once again, don't use that as your excuse. Figure out in your schedule when you can fit it in, when you have time, and do it. And that's not like if you have 30 minutes scrolling through Instagram, that's spending those 30 minutes doing your work, reaching out to people, messaging people, crafting posts, whatever it is, actually work. Because I feel like so many people get stressed out about being so busy or have so much of this going on, and they can't balance coaching, and they can't balance their job, and they're moving into a new house, whatever it is. It's not that hard of work. It's work, but it's simple work. And if you spend 1 or 2 hours a day totally unplugged and on that, you're going to be above so many people in this business. But if you're spending those 2 hours scrolling and thinking about it and stressing yourself out about it, that's going to be worse than actually doing the work. Okay, so it's like you spend so much time like, oh, I wish I had a graphic like her, and I wish, I had a challenge group idea like her, and her picture's perfect, and blah, blah, blah. And then you're in your own head, you're stressing yourself out when you can spend that entire time, making a beautiful post or getting all these people in your challenge groups and all of that. Like, in a way, I feel like sometimes having a full-time job helps you, because you shouldn't have time to focus on those things. And, just because someone has a beautiful graphic doesn't mean they're getting more challengers in the door. Like, we're probably the only ones who really notice that. So you have to really focus on those things that matter, and those things are important, and not waste your time on other things. And I have found that, on my busy days in my job or traveling or things like that, I'm much more effective because I have a lot less time to spend on doing useless crap. Like, I am doing my work, and that's it. So if you feel really, really stressed out, figure out what you're spending time in, and is it just in your head, or are you actually like really overworking yourself? Because then if so, you have to kind of look back on your schedule and figure out what's important and what you need to do. Because I promise every single person's schedule on this call, you can make this business work. Figure out how to make it work in your life and stick to that. And it might not be right away, and then critique it and go back and figure out what's going to work for you. So that's kind of how, you know, I use my power hours. I plan ahead. Like every single week, you probably can't see my agenda if I show you it here, but at the beginning of the month, I have my whole month planned out. I know when I'm running a clean eating group. I know when I'm running, I usually run 2 challenge groups a month. I have those on there. I know when I'm starting coffee. They even have my posts. So I used to like put my food and stuff on my agenda, and now I put my posts on there because that's what really matters. I can figure out what I'm going to eat in another place. So I plan my posts. Like on Monday, I want to talk about team call. On Thursday, I want to talk about the coaching opportunity. On Sunday, I want to talk about joining a challenge group. And I know on those days I need to plan posts for those days, and that's when they're going to happen. So you cannot be over prepared or over if you are, super busy trying to make everything work. So with social media, I kind of talked about that. So how I balance that and stay consistent with being full time. I will say that I have never missed a day posting on Facebook or Instagram since I started. And that even when I wasn't always, I was always committed to this business, but I'm very, very, very committed now. Even on those times, I still posted every single freaking day. If you're not posting on your page, you're not showing up for work. That's literally like, okay, I couldn't come in today. And so many people don't realize how big of a deal that is. Like, it's huge. If you're not posting on your like page for 3 days in a row, like your entire infinity is gone. And I've seen so many coaches do it, coaches on my team, coaches on Jamie's team, and they try to start posting again and no one's liking it. And then they get discouraged because no one's liking it and it's not working and it's pointless to post on Facebook. And then you're in like this vicious cycle. And it's because you stopped posting. So you have to keep it up and stay consistent. And when you don't know what to post about, there's always something to post about. Sorry, here comes my voice, about to lose it. But there's always something to post about it. If you're doing the vital behaviors and you're showing up every single day, then there's something to post about. A second. So, so whether it's your PD that you're posting about or your workout, or, you should be posting about things totally not Beachbody related too, because people want to know your life. People love reality TV shows. They love knowing what you're doing. People are really creepy people. They want to know the insides of everything. So post, what you did with your spouse or what you're doing with your kids or something, a hobby that you like to do, whatever it is, post about that because people want to get to know you and your life, and they want to know and like and trust you, right? We all know that. Like, people want to relate to you and feel like they can come to you. And then when you start posting those challenge group posts, are like, hey, she really likes the same tennis shoes as me. I feel like I trust her. I'm going to fill out her challenge group post, or whatever it is. They are more likely to come to you again later on. So make sure you're sharing everything. And it doesn't have to all be invites. So that's the other thing. I feel like so many people are, posting like, hey, join me in this, join me in that. So I have this challenge group, I have this coach preview group. And then people feel like constantly sold to. So make sure that you're sharing. I know everyone knows this, but just be careful of it. Go through your posts and make sure that, you have a good chunk of posts, 5 or 8 pictures, whatever it is, before you're like in between your invites, so that people feel like they can come to you for that as well. Okay. So posting is easy. Don't overthink it. No matter how busy your life is, there's something to post about. Even if you have a boring day, I don't care. Like, put a picture out there and post, because you're going to lose all that infinity and people are going to stop following you. And don't underestimate what it will do for your platforms. So I talked about reach outs too, so how I make that work as well. Being super busy, it's definitely the #1 part that's grown my business. And I think that a lot of people who kind of stall and, they're not growing, or they can't grow their challenge groups or their team, that's probably something, or a huge part of something that they're missing. So really look at how many people are you actually reaching out to and are you actually inviting. Like, that doesn't mean you're commenting on someone's picture and saying like, hey, or gorgeous or whatever it is, or liking their pictures. That means you have a one-on-one direct message going with them. Like, you got to know their life, you know who they are, you can answer questions about their life, and then you feel comfortable inviting them into that free group or that coach preview group or that challenge group, and like you have a solution for them because you talked to them and because you got to know them. So don't use busy as an excuse for that either. You can have that time blackout 30 minutes and just sit down and power through them. And, you know, also don't make sure you're just copying and pasting them. Make sure you're actually like getting to know them and, you know, looking at their feet a little bit and saying, hey, like, something about their baby or something about, you know, whatever it is in the comment as well, or in the message as well. So they know that you're still, you know, looking at them. You still know that, you know, that you didn't just mass message people, because we've all gotten those messages before, and I know other people have too. So that's the first thing they're going to think if it looks like a really generic message. Make sure that you are personable. And, you know, we don't want to be those people. We're not those people, so don't act like them. And make sure that you are doing that and building that relationship, because that's the number one thing that's going to open people up to you. And I even had so many people that, you know, I've been doing this for 1.5 years. So I have people who reached out to me from a year ago or even a couple of months ago, and I never brought up health and fitness to them. And now they know, because they have a conversation going, so that, you know, like I said, they know, like, and trust you when they see you post that challenge group invite or post whatever it is. They know they can come back to you like, hey, I talked to her, I know her, like, I'm gonna reach out to her. Whereas if you didn't send that message at all, like, you skipped your power hour for that day, you skipped that person. Like, you have to really take that seriously and know that you have it in your power to change people's lives, and look at it like that. Don't look at it like work, and that you have, you know, oh, I have to reach out to these people, I have to invite these people, I have all these screenshots on my phone. Like, you have so much power in your hands. And you just have to think, like, every single person on this call, what if your coach didn't reach out to you? Or what if, you know, this opportunity wasn't presented to you? A lot of our lives would look 100% different. And that was all in our hands. And we have that in our hands for other people. So really make sure that you're taking that seriously and that you're doing that. And you're not looking at it as a job or as work. Like, it's so much work to do that. Otherwise, your priorities might be wrong, and this business might not be for you. You have to truly, truly believe in it, and truly believe that's going to change other people's lives, and you'll naturally be able to do that for other people. So, make sure I'm not missing anything. So stay consistent. Said that day in, day out, no matter what. Whether you feel like crap or you feel awesome, you have to show up every single day, because people are watching you, people are trusting you. If you don't show up, or, you know, you're gone for a week and back on for a week, people are going to be like, what is she doing? Whatever she's doing isn't working. I'm not going to trust her because she's not going to show up. So how is she going to help me accountable to show up? She's not going to. Next, they're going to go to the next person who does show up every single day. So, like I said, I didn't get here by showing up 2 days a week or when I felt like it. It's a job. You have to treat it like a job. Show up, clock in. It's not like, you know, I'm going to show up on Tuesday and Thursdays and not the rest of the days. Like, you'll get fired like that in your other job, and you're going to get fired like that from here. So you're not going to grow your business, and it's not going to pay off for you. So it's simple. All of those things, all those vital behaviors, if you're doing those every single day, and you're posting about them, and you're reaching people, and you're inviting people, and you're loving and recognizing the people on your team, it's that simple. It's so simple, and it's going to pay off if you do all those things. Just keep doing them and stay consistent. And like you've heard a million times, I'm sure, what you do now will pay off in a year. And that's something I never believed Jamie and Steve saying that. I was like, okay, like, whatever, you guys are just lucky. And now it actually is. And it's insane to even, you know, to think about. Like, it's what I was doing, you know, a year ago now, even though I was 6 months into the business, is completely different than it is now. And I never would have believed that. So trust in that, but that also means, you know, showing up for an entire year. It doesn't mean, you know, just being on this team for an entire year. Like, you have to work your butt off if you really want it. You have to work harder than people who've been here for longer. And some days suck, and some days are really hard, and you're tired, and you don't want to do it, and you have other things you want to do, but those are the days that matter the most, and you just have to keep going. So I think I covered everything on here. Yeah, your business is yours. You know, this is in your hands. You have to own it, figure out, you know, what your excuse is, but I want everyone to stop using busy as an excuse. Any of my coaches come to me and tell me that they're too busy. You have to turn that around and figure out what it is. Make the time in your life. Realize that you let yourself down. Don't come to me and say that you're sorry. Don't come to Jamie and say that you're sorry, that you were busy. You know, say sorry to yourself and figure it out. And remember your why every single day. So that's probably my final part. Remember your why every single day, because that's going to drive you every single day. So when you really, 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 really don't feel like it, why are you doing this? And you have to have a why strong enough that's going to pull you out of that rut. So, you know, I want to quit my job so bad, and I want to be home and start a family with Ryan so bad, that, you know, every time I'm in this office, I just want to quit, I just want to go to bed, I don't want to respond to a message. I have to remember that, and remember that why, and remember Ryan and our future babies, and know that, you know, I did this for them, and I'm not going to, you know, stop working, you know, if I could never do that to them. So you have to be able to look at your why, and tell them and know that you showed up for them every single day. And if you're not able to do that, if you're able to look at your why, if it's a person or a thing, and tell them that you're too busy, then your why isn't strong enough, or this business just might not be for you. So figure out what that why is, and hold strong to it. So I think that's everything. I'll look at these questions. I think I have some on here. I'll up here a little bit. Do you have a pre-made script for reaching out on Instagram? So kind of like I said, I make sure that I still edit it. Otherwise, that person is going to know that you're kind of being a robot. They're going to know. So I kind of have the same basic script, and I change like a sentence in it. So let me see. Here it says something like, if I can find it right now, but like, hi, thank you so much for the follow and the support. I really, really appreciate it. If they're doing like bikini body diet or tone it up, I'll mention that and say, hey, how long have you been doing tone it up? I started with that too. Like, how are you liking it? Or, you know, if they're engaged, I'll say, hey, I'm engaged too. Like, when is your wedding date? So I'll have that one little sentence in there that's like for them, so they know that I looked at them. I'll make sure you're including their name, and then I'll just say, look forward to chatting, whatever it is. They usually respond. A lot of people won't see it though too on Instagram, so don't think that they're ignoring you or forget about it. If you're not a coach, you're not used to messaging on Instagram, a lot of people don't even know it's there. Yeah, nobody can see your post. If you don't post for a few days, you really can't see it. You mentioned you have a whole video post about reaching out. I'd love to see if you can share the link. Yeah, so it's in the Team Fight to Finish team page. So if you search my name in the team call, you should be able to find it. What was the best event you went on, and what did it do for your business? For sure, Summit. Summit was a game changer for me. And that was kind of at the point where I was like really ready to go. I just hit diamond before I went, and for me it was like, I'm either gonna like, you know, half-ass it or hit the ground running. And it completely changed it. Obviously our team is amazing, and I was roommates with amazing people, and we had a freaking blast. And you know, but it was a total game changer, and not even just like the training and things like that, but being with people like Amy face to face. Like, we did so much virtually, and just like being with her for 4 days, and everyone else that I met. And it was a total game changer. It makes it real, and especially people following you and you're posting about it, and they're like, hey, she's doing a real thing. Like, that Amy person she talked about isn't a robot, whatever it is. And they see that it's real, but also you do too. Like, I feel like I believed in it so much more after that. Not that I did it before, but it's just amazing having everyone in that one place. It's so much different than like a Super Saturday or Super Sunday. Not that those aren't important to go to, but it's totally different. It's worth the money. So if you're thinking about going, there's still tickets available. There's still hotels available. It's a write-off, and it's worth it. So how do you focus on your business when you just don't feel like it? Yeah, so that my why is a huge part of that. Like, I think about it all the time. And I think in a way it does help that my job sucks right now because like it really makes me, it really fuels me to work on this more and more and more. But I just remember like, you know, why I'm doing this. Like, why am I showing up every day? What's the end goal? Like, what do I want this to be? And am I going to be able to be home if I don't show up? Or am I going to be able to be home if I don't do that? No. So no matter how bad I'm feeling, I just remember that. And, you know, I'll even sometimes think like, oh no, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'll sit down to watch a show and then I'll feel so guilty. Like, no, I need to work. Like, this isn't right. So just like always remember that. And, you know, like pasting around, I have sticky notes that say things like that. And just always remember why I'm doing this. You were the best roomies ever, Heidi. Oh my God, Heidi, you crack me up. My favorite PD book. It's a tough one. I love The Slight Edge. I think everybody does. But The Slight Edge is really, really, really good. I'm also loving The Miracle Morning right now, just for my schedule. Like, I love positive ones too. And like The Slight Edge really, really pushed me. But The Miracle Morning, I felt like I have like takeaways, which I really like, to actually go and do, like, go wake up earlier, go do this, especially in my life right now. I feel like I need to take advantage of the mornings, and I don't really have a choice, so that one's been. What do you do when you're feeling overwhelmed or defeated? That's probably definitely when I do PD. So I'll just, you know, unplug. And if I'm feeling like that, that's not the time that I'm reaching out to people or probably making posts or probably talking to my coaches, because it's going to bring them down too. So I make sure that I am, you know, reading that PD, building myself up. Sometimes you do just need to unplug for a little bit and just come back to it and just breathe a little bit, and then it will be better. Obviously, there's still going to be times you're going to be overwhelmed and defeated, but just again, remember why you're doing it. What kind of research do you do pertaining to social media, and how have you found that to affect your affinity? I feel like a lot of us coaches have. Jamie knows a lot about it too. Like Chalene Johnson, if you follow Chalene, and what's that other Facebook person that we follow? Marie Smith. They have a lot of Facebook tips on there, but also I think it's just from experience with this, as far as it comes from affinity. We've all found it, and just naturally posting more is going to boost your posts in the feed more. Your Facebook like page is a lot different than your personal page, and you know, you're pushing Facebook to have people see those posts, and the more you're posting at different times of the day, you're going to engage more people. And the longer you take to post, the longer your picture, your post is going to get lost in the feed. So I don't really do research myself. I just follow people who do their research. Does anyone else have any other questions? Every time I do these calls, I've been sweating. I was so cold before I started. Is that everything? Well, thank you everyone so much for joining. If you have any questions, obviously ask me, but I will post the recording in T-Fight to Finish once it's downloaded. Hope you all have a good night.